Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's Andrea. I'm here with a brand new to me paper pumpkin kit from Stampin' Up. And this is a bonus product that got put into my starter kit. So I was very excited to see this in there. It is the December 2023 paper pumpkin kit. It's called All the Best. Came with really detailed instructions, step by step. It has a ruler down the side. We just make this kit really easy to put together, and it's supposed to make 3 sets of 3 cards with the envelopes. Being a scrapbooker at heart, I'm going to challenge myself to make a layout with this kit. Maybe I will make one with 1/3 of the pieces. We'll see how that works out. This would give me 2 more sets if I wanted to share with my friends, or maybe make some of the cards. Let's see what's in this kit. First of all, I received a Pebbled Path Stampin' Spot. That's great because I don't have all the colors. We have some foil embossed punch outs here. Those are pretty. I hope you can pick up the gold embossing on there. I have a little stamp set. Really cute sayings on here. This is perfect. This is a roll of double-sided tape, I'm guessing. I have some dimensional dots here. I've got some glue dots, it looks like. And then I've got some bling all in this little package. This, I believe, is a gift box if you wanted to store all the cards once you're done or give them away. It's a great little box to store those in, and a little belly band that probably goes around that box. We have 3 sets of these gold embossed punch outs here. Actually, they're not punch outs. It looks like that is meant to be the front of a card that we're going to build upon. These are the punch outs. So there's 3 sets of these. And we have several of these. Looks like we have enough for 4 cards, even though we only need 3. And those will be great little accents. Again, here, enough for 4 cards. Guess you have enough if you make a mistake. These will be great little spots for journaling. And then we get into the card bases. So we have 3 of these. 3 of these. And then 3 with the little flowers down at the bottom, along with 9 fancy envelopes. So these are beautiful. I mean, you could definitely make cards out of these, but I'm going to challenge myself, like I said, to make a layout out of 1/3, and then I will make maybe some cards or some kits to give away with the other. So stay tuned. We'll come back and we'll put a layout together. Here's the plan. I brought in 2 sheets of white cardstock, 12 by 12, and we are going to make our layouts. I have allowed myself 1/3 of this kit, of the paper pumpkin kit, to accomplish this layout. So I have the 3 different card bases here. I have 3 of the envelopes. They're really pretty, and we're going to utilize those. I have 1 sheet of the punch out flowers here. I have 1 little gold embossed flower here. And then we have 1 card front that has the gold embossing. We've got 1 little square that's probably going to be used for some journaling. And then the only thing that I'm allowing myself a little bit more of is these punch outs right here. I have 1 set here, and the set came with 4. You only need 3 for your cards. I have this extra one. That's basically what I'm saying. I've got 1 left over. So I'm going to take this extra one, and we're going to use this as part of the layout as well. I'm also going to bring in some cardstock, and this is just a gray cardstock. If you have it in your stash, I am using a Close to My Heart piece because I don't have a lot of Stampin' Up stuff yet. So this is the first thing that I'm going to do. And I also do not have my brand new Stampin' Up paper cutter. So I'm just going to use an old Cricut one that I have laying here. And I'm going to start by just cutting this at, let's see, if my card is 8.5 inches wide, I'm going to cut this at 9 inches. And that'll give me a piece that I can use to begin this layout. So let me just give that a good trim here. Okay. So I'll now have 2 pieces of cardstock the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to adhere this right to my base page. So let me move all of these little components out. I have this big plan here. So this one is going to go down on the right-hand page right there. Now that we've got our gray paper situated, it is time to bring in our card fronts. So this one, I'm going to just put about 1/2 inch up from the bottom, and I'm going to center it from side to side on our gray cardstock. And this particular card front, I trimmed down. I trimmed it to be 4 1/4 inches tall. Did not trim anything off the width. And this one, I'm going to put about 1/2 inch from the one below it. And so now we'll have 2 places where we can put photo mats down. I have some photo mats from Close to My Heart. You can always make your own. These, I call them like photo placeholders actually. These photo placeholders are great because it just helps me in designing my layout. And I'm putting 4x4 photos up on top like so. And then we're going to put photos down here that are not quite so tall because I do not want to cover this beautiful pattern with its yellow dandelions and the little gold embossed particles. So, you know what? I was going to put these all the way up at the top. I think I'm going to drop that about 1/2 inch and just feel like that's a good space. And we'll do the same here. We'll just match these up height-wise and we'll be good to go. Now we have our 2 card fronts that we've used as mats. And this one I'm just going to move over just a tiny bit. It was too far over to the right. Didn't have enough of that blue, beautiful blue pattern showing. And we have the circles here. So I've got 1 and 2. I also have the envelopes. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the flap off of the envelopes. That's the first thing I'll do with all of these. So let's bring in that paper trimmer. And I think what I'm going to do is just see what happens if I lay these down as a design element along the edge. Maybe something like that. Maybe these will move to the other side. We're just going to keep them there for placement for just a little while. So see how we feel. We'll let that settle in. Let's work on this page just a tiny bit. Move this one over. So what I want to do is I want to use that extra 3-inch long strip, 3-inch wide and 12-inch long strip that we have left over from cutting this page. I'm going to bring that in. That's going to go right here on the inside edge. So it's going to look like a continuation. We've got this 12-inch wide piece of gray here across the page. I like how that looks. And then I definitely want to put a bigger photo over on this side. So I'm just going to carefully slide these little pieces out of the way. And I'm going to put this, I'm going to line this up with this top edge. I like when things are symmetrical. If this was down much lower and I had plenty of room, then sure, I would move it up. But I think that this is going to look good if I just line it up. So I'm going to make sure that these pieces, my left and right pages, are at the same height. And then I think this is going to go somewhere about here. So I'm going probably 3/4 of an inch in from the edge here, the right edge. And I have another photo placeholder. I'd like to do a 4x6 photo here. And so I'm just going to tack that down just lightly. Let's see what else we can do with this. You know, I probably could have taken one of these blue ones and put this across here. We'll see. I like to build with the pieces that I'm certain of and then fill in with all the little ones. So I always do the bigger arrangements first when I'm designing and then leave the smaller ones for last. And then I would like to use this as part of my design element as well. I'm not quite sure yet, though, how I'm going to arrange it. And I do want to leave some room for a title, possibly. But I love when things are clustered. One thing I know for sure I want to do is I want to put a banner piece up here. So let's just get that up in the corner. And I think I also want to use one of these. These are the pieces, oops. These are the pieces that were left over when I trimmed off of here. Let me see. I trimmed 1 1/4 inch piece off of the top. So, and then cut it in 2. So I'm going to use this. I have some really, really old Stampin' Up rubber trimmers here. They actually were for when you had to cut the red rubber pieces off of your stamps way back when but I have those. So I dug those out of my stash. So now I've got a banner piece from the top here, and I've got this one as well. And that's going to be a design element up here. But let's run some tape here. Let's put that up here. And that'll give me a better feel for where I want everything to go. In fact, I'm going to move that more to the outer edge because this is the longer piece, and I want the longer piece to be on the outside over here. And then we will put this one on. This one I think would really do well with some dimensional dots here. So we're going to bring these in. Get these out of the bag here. And we're just going to put some of that. And in fact, I'm going to see if I can't peel off the edges. We'll just use some of these edges off edges up instead of using up our dot. And let's go ahead and create that second banner piece. I always overlap my banners just a bit. I like how that looks, that you've got, you know, that they look like they're kind of on top of each other. One of them's on top of the other. I had planned on possibly doing another one up here with the second one. We'll see how this all turns out. Not so sure yet. Like I said, it's all going to come together. Just need to figure out how. And then let's see. If I was to put this here, put this somewhere over here. I like that arrangement. So let's go ahead and just glue this little design element down. And then this one, let's give this one a little dimension. So we'll use some of our dimensionals here. Pop this up. So I kind of like how this is a cluster. That is always really good in design. So I do know that I want to pop up some of these beautiful golden dandelion pieces here. One of them is definitely going to go right here, without a doubt. Has to be. So I'm going to just put a dimensional in a few of these key spots here. So now where do we want to go with this? Do we want to keep this blue border? Do we want to see where this feels right? I mean, there's lots of decisions here. I'm thinking that this is going to go right here. So let's just go ahead and commit to that. That'll give me some balance with those. So I'm beginning to see some like clustering coming together here. Now we have this great big dandelion. And I do think that would look pretty with the rest of them. I had thought maybe it would go over here, but I kind of like right there. So let's pop that up as well. If you're new, you'll soon pick up on the fact that I just love having dimension on my layout. So these dimensional dots here are going to be my best friend. I'll tell you already. So that's going to go there. That's going to leave me some space if I want to add a title here or here at some point, maybe even here. Let's cut these in half. I think that that would be really cute to put the scalloped border down the side here. This is about a 3-inch circle. Let me bring this up into screen. So we have about a 3-inch circle. So if I was to place this about 1.5 inches on either side, it's just slightly over 1.5 inches. And I'm going to hold that very carefully. I'm just going to trim through both layers here. So now I have some pieces that match up. So we could do something like this. Since these are about 3-inch circles, we're just going to have just a tiny bit of overlay because they're just a tiny bit bigger. So that could definitely go there. Let's see what we think about our border. I don't like both of those going in different directions. So what if I was to take these little pieces and put these right here? I think this looks pretty. We can still get the gold underneath there. Let's do that. Now I'm going to build with these little tiny pieces. I like the layers that we're getting here. And to do this, I'm actually just going to run one long strip of adhesive. Okay, so we have this cute little pattern going along the side here. Love that. Just going to peel this off as well. Stick that down. it's coming together. This layout's definitely coming together. So we've got lots of little tiny pieces. Maybe one will go right up here. I'm not so sure about putting that other banner piece up here any longer that I planned to. I just feel like it might get a little too crowded up here. And in fact, yeah, that's not something that I want to do. I just feel like it's too busy up there. But maybe if we tucked it under here, kind of like that, I think that would add something to the layout. So let's go ahead and dovetail this just a bit. Now in this case, this banner piece definitely has to be closest to this gold. Then we'll have this one. Since they're tucking up under the photo, I don't really want to add any dimension. I'm going to keep those kind of flat. I have this little tiny gold one. That probably would do well. Let's see. I feel like this side's getting all the flowers. I'm going to put this right here. Okay, that looks pretty there. And I kind of feel like this last one, I know this is going to go over here, but this last one we just need to find a home for. Maybe right here. I think that right there. I think that's where we're going to put this one. Overall, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flowers, but we've got 5 that are these big yellow dandelions, and I think that that's good. I think this one just kind of fades in, but we needed an odd number of these yellow. So I'm glad that we did not put these. You know, I didn't put 2 of these together. I think that this really gives it some balance with the 5. You always want to try to have odd numbers in your layouts because it just moves your eyes across the page much better. Now, we just need a little bit of filling in. I'm not so sure how much I want to do with these stamps. I think that if we do too many, it might take away. So let's just go with the tiny one and see what happens. So I'm just going to peel one of these off and get a little block. So I've got a little baby block here. Just going to put this on too. And I'm just going to open this up this pebbled path. In fact, I'm just going to see what it feels like if I stamp on a piece and put it. I don't know. I really feel like this might be too bold to put on here. Let's see if a second generation stamp would feel better. I've got to say, I'm not loving that. That would be something that I would usually do, is just put a little bit of texture in the background here. And I just think it's going to take away with the soft blues of this. It's just too bold. So I'm going to nix the idea of stamping right on this. We need a little bit of bling on the layout. And my guess is that I can safely use an entire line of these little gems. Okay, so we have 9 gems. So that means 3 clusters of 3 in my book. So one's going to be up here. One will be down in here. So let's start with, do one right here, one little gem. And we'll do 2 smaller ones. And these always have to be in a triangular shape for me. Just love how it's kind of like cascading. They remind me of water dripping. So I'm going to just go and find a suitable title. I've made one modification to the layout. When I was looking at it and deciding on whether or not it was balanced, I felt like it was just so white over here that I decided to cut a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch tall gray cardstock. It matches this right here. And I just mounted this beautiful little foil embossed card to it. And I feel like that brings the gray across and it really gives this layout some balance that it really needed. Now, the other thing that I want to do was I was looking for a title, and what I'm going to scrapbook on this is some photos from Mother's Day. It was my mom's birthday. So I've got a really good photo of her, a photo with my sister and my girls and I all at the table having a nice little cup of tea. So that's what's going to go on this layout eventually. So I decided that I just want to put a simple stamped title, and we're going to play with where it fits. But I have this brand new textured floral stamp set. I bought this. I just thought it was really adorable. Again, plans to use ultimately in the wedding album. But the Every Thought of You Makes Me Smile just really, I think, would be great on this layout. It doesn't need a big, bold title, just something soft and simple. So I'm just going to open this up. And this, like I said, is my first time using this stamp set. So I'm going to peel this back. And I'm going to pick up the one stamp that we need. I'm going to lay that down here on my table, and I'm going to pick that up on a stamping block. Now, I'm going to bring in just a piece of foam, and I think I'm going to just put this, let's see if we want this right here. I could put that right there, or I could kind of bring it down here. And honestly, I'm not quite sure. I think up here will be just great. So I'm going to stamp, but I'm going to put that foam underneath because I'm not so sure that this vinyl backing here is going to be the best to stamp upon. So this will make it a little bit, the foam will make it a little bit easier to get a good impression. There we go. I love that. It's so pretty, isn't it? So now we have Every Thought of You Makes Me Smile as a little title. I love that it's part of our big cluster here. Let's bring in the other page. We'll move out our foam and let's just take a look at it. Just love how well balanced this layout came out. I think that having the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow flowers is great. It's an odd number. Our eyes love odd numbers. I love that we were able to take the envelope flaps and to put those down as a border, and then to use the little circles cut in half to create a scalloped border. It really softens this edge over here. And then over on this page, more of the pretty blue color. And yeah, definitely putting that gray backing onto this card front. Boy, did that give this the pop that it needed over in this area. The gems, my first impression of the gems, they're really, really pretty. I'm going to pick this up so that you can see. I hope that you can also pick up the shininess of the gold embossing, but the gems are like water. They're just beautiful. And I do love the banner pieces too. I think it really all came together so easily, and I still have enough to make 2 sets of the cards. So I will be able to make 6 cards in addition to this layout. So I will link this textured florals stamp set down below in this video's description. In addition, I will also leave the link to the paper pumpkin subscription below. And if you subscribe, you can then go back into my website and purchase this past kit. It's available as of this video's release. So be sure to check that out. It's my intention to make a scrapbooking layout out of each of my upcoming paper pumpkin kits. So be sure to hit that subscribe button that you see right there on your screen. Hit the notification bell. This way you don't miss out on any of my paper pumpkin projects or any of my other Stampin' Up projects that I might come up with in the near future. Thanks for watching and have a creative day.